Let's hope the coverage works well. Now, we are here, Cancer, to do your psychic intuitive read. For those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. We're going to get a crystal for you. Okay. And we're going to connect in the houses in various areas, and then we're going to get deep into your romance. Now, like I said, for those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. I'm a psychic medium. I cover the astrology, the moon energy. The energy at the moment has been moving into May. Very subtle, and I'd say this is because when I say subtle, we're really moving into the frequency of the Taurus energy. So you may find that you're very attracted to certain food groups at the moment. You might be decorating, you might be looking at different things, and just looking at your chart, and I have pulled a crystal, and the crystal you got through your chakra system, hi guys, is clear quartz. Now they're really small, but I was guided to use the crystals through the chakra system, and randomly choose and see what comes up. And that's very much what's coming up for you guys. And I do feel you're wanting a lot of clarity. You're wanting to really be able to have crystal clear thought. And again, with clear quartz, it's unique because it's sort of like the correlation between, your crown and the amethyst energy. But it's just clarity overall that you guys are really wanting. Now, I'm going to briefly touch base with some aspects, and then I'm going to get into the card reading. But really, at an intuitive level, I feel you guys are just wanting clarity. I do feel that you're pretty grounded, very rational, but a little bit cautious, and May will be pretty unique for you guys. We have had the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, so for 2.5 years, for you guys, it would have been deeply transformative. You really do keep your cards close to your chest. You're very, very private individuals, but, providing you have the right environment, you'll move hell and high water for the people that you love. So, hats off to you guys. You really would have been quite focused in the career sector as well, and that's another thing you do tend to find. It might not have been a very balanced situation. I've got to look where your fourth house is, because for you guys, just to do with, and it's funny because it falls, your fourth house is Libra, which at the moment Libra is in Juno. So, at a psychological level, you guys would have been really trying to correct imbalances, working through your mind of the past, working through your psychology of the past, maybe even dealing with some very toxic individuals. So many people, and most of us at a collective level, have had Saturn in the fourth house, and that's at a collective level. So because it is retrograding in May, which theoretically it's already there now, we're going to start seeing over the next few months slight views as to what our life is going to be like in 2021, which to a degree will be a breath of fresh air, but I'm also seeing roller coaster energy. So I'm seeing things become quite fast paced, a lot of karmic cycles closing out. And it's, look, even at a mental level, when you're looking at things, it's you coming to terms with things, especially with the fourth house. Now, at the end of May, Juno will be in Libra, which is your psychology house. It will be going direct. So you may find by the end of the month, things do become more clear. But I have done the Venus read, so do look back at those and hold on to them, because it does cover the energy of what will be coming up for you guys during this transit, because it is around 6 weeks, but you've got the shadow side either side, so we're already feeling it now. You do tend to find during that process we can accidentally romanticize, and it's a bit like, especially because we've got Mercury in Taurus, which is a Venus house. We also had the Sun in Taurus. The way we are relating to things, we're moving towards things that feel nice. It's very much that comfort point of view. So it might be you're cleaning house, or you're doing things more so that relate to you. And it can also be, if you are triggered, you'll move to those creature comforts that will actually support you during that time. Now, in your home domain, you've got some interesting aspects. Obviously, because you are a Cancerian, you're governed by home energy. So a lot of it, you're deeply reflecting about how people are seeing you within that environment and how that external world is. But it's very much self-orientation assessment. With the 8th house, Saturn in Aquarius, how that will directly affect you it's a non-codependent way of existing within the functionality of that home-related dynamic. And you're looking at the bigger picture of, it could be for some of you looking at wanting to build, looking at where you're going to live, how that's got, what the creature comforts are, but how you can get your stability and your foundation back. The most cautious area you're going to need to look at is the 12th house, and it will be pretty testing for you guys. However, if you just keep an awareness of this, it's a yin and yang house. The 12th house, again, is psychology, but it's throughout your life what you've learned when you reach this pivotal point. It's the art of expressing how you are and all your understanding. So it's a little bit like the Scorpionic energy. You guys with the 12th house will be having that there for 2.5 years, obviously, because the nodes in May are changing and they're falling in your 12th house. So from a perspective in your communication style, you may find if you've been very quiet, if people have been pushing you a certain way and you haven't been explaining some things, I feel this is a time that you're going to learn the art of language. And some of it may be more so a comfortable place you will come to where you'll no longer be governed by what people are thinking. If you say things, you'll just get to the point. For initially, it might become complicated trying to find the words to articulate things, but mentally and spiritually, again, you may be going over old ground energetically and researching where potentially there were energies in your life that weren't as supportive towards you. But it's definitely, it can be a very positive house, especially on the home front. So pay attention to your psychology, what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Potentially on the home front, you may be wanting to be more social. Gemini energy is a very social energy. So the fine tuning and the things that you're linking in with Venus retrograde in your home domain, I'm finding that you guys may wish to, like I said, do you want to buy a house? Is that potentially possible? What would need to happen for that to happen? Could be looking at insurance premiums and things to that degree. But also where the healthy connection with energies are. There is a point spiritually where we do get into hermit mode, and obviously what's happening in the collective is out of our control. But at a spiritual level moving forward, some of these adjustments during hermit mode energy, as well as during Venus retrograde, is really helping you guys go over that 12th house and look at the social aspects. And sometimes the art of appreciation is not having it and then realizing what the healthy way is to do that and to reintegrate that back. Now, love for you guys is also quite unique. And for you guys in that area, you're going to find potentially in the first week, and even with Pluto going retrograde, it does fall in Scorpio. So for you guys, that is going to be hitting your romance house. So it very much will link into your love life. But as I said, I will be pulling cards after I give my give gap. And then we will be getting into the energy of what I potentially see. So you'll have your 5th house. And with the 5th house, how do I explain it? With the Scorpionic energy, it may be very superstitious. You might be really seeking a very, very deep energy. It might be intimacy at a very deep level, really, taking the mask off, so to speak. But it's diving deep at a spiritual level and, out with the old, in with the new energy. You'll also be getting your luck energy from that, but your hunches are going to be incredibly important during that time, especially putting your energy into passions and pastimes. But in your romance house, it's following your gut and, again, with the 12th house, speaking your truth when you feel you need to, not holding it in and actually articulating how you feel and living in your authentic energy. With Capricorn being in your 7th house, there can be some old karmic cycles that you're tying out. Some of you, it may be divorce proceedings. Some of you, it's contracts, again, with Juno being in Libra. Whatever that tying up of energy is, when we go into our shadow, sometimes we can move into the opposite sign. So your opposite sign happens to be Capricorn, but there could be a lot of push and pull when it does come to balancing, the thought and the romantic interests, as well as how do you balance work. So it can be an extremely busy time, be it you're doing paperwork, be it that you actually are in a partnership. With the Capricorn energy, it will link into things that are kind of coming at you. This can also be quite, how can I say it, financially linking, where you have previous binding contracts that are taking you away from what you're moving towards in romance, but it is tying out this month. So you'll find with the next 2 months, June, July, with the eclipses, it'll really tie that cycle out and we'll be making leeway, so to speak. With, again, the fact that Gemini is going to be in your 12th house, again, it can be very social, and I am seeing you guys being extremely busy. So if you are on a frontline worker and you are working, or you're separate and you're doing things, it is an extremely busy time. But I do find many of you will be using multimedia more, so you'll be communicating. You'll also find that this is a very cautious time, especially for Cancerians. What you're thinking will come to fruition very quick. 12th house is really at a spiritual level where you have turned into the magician energy. So if you're finding all of a sudden you're thinking something and lo and behold it's in front of you, it's very synchronistic the way that happens. And it's the art of manifesting is very much detachment. It's almost, you think it, you're not really deeply concerned about it. That's very much what I do try to preach, connected to twin flame path. You think it, you feel it, you release, and it comes full circle. It's also going to be very, very social. And I do feel there's going to be a lot of energies wanting on you, even if you're wishing to move your energy into connecting in with this romantic energy. Another feeling I am getting at a psychic level, if with these three houses really activated, we do need to be mindful that there will be a lot of old situations that we're tying up, especially with retrogrades. We'll have Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter. Now, that's another area I need to tell you guys. I did look at it. It's your 6th house. Okay, so obviously with the nodes and Jupiter going retrograde, it will hit your 6th house. And your 6th house really does link into your employment and you advancing your career. And I'm seeing there was almost a theme playing out where if love was not so balanced, you may have poured your energy into work, or polar opposite. And there was this push-pull energy that you guys have been trying to balance. With that, I do feel, providing you find the right environment, and the 12th house is helping you understand that you can be uniquely and beautifully you, the right people energetically will be drawn to you and things will balance out. And as I said, when Juno does go direct, it is your psychology house. The right connections will come to you, and it will be a closure of that cycle and a finalization to a degree where you really know what you want, what your worth is, what your value is. But you might have a lot of old energies coming up in your mind. So even if you well and truly had closed cycles 20 years ago, it could be old things mentally and spiritually coming back to you that you're looking at and you're thinking, wow, I didn't really see it that way. And, wow, I can't believe that was actually preventing me from proceeding forward. Your career sector with Aquarius, again, will be non-codependent. You're really moving towards that. There can be finances coming towards you, but I am seeing money coming in and out. And I do feel it's, don't stress if you're seeing that, because you're really clearing that karmic cycle out. I do feel as much as it's going to be coming in, it's going to be going out, but it's tying it up so that you guys can have that fresh start. And I do feel through the eclipses, really, this is pushing you forward. It's creating that new foundational energy. I do feel you're going to be highly sought after during this transit. You're going to have to keep quiet on your toes. Now, the changes and where the finance comes from will fall in your 11th house, and that is very much with the changes. It's Uranus and Taurus falling in your 11th house as your financial aspects. That will come, unseen. So, like I said, I'm seeing money coming in, but money coming out. But there is opportunities during the transits of sextiles, which I'll get into the astrology as soon as I finish the zodiac signs, and we'll kind of link in, and I might even put a community post up so that these aspects I mentioned you can actually see. So really pay attention to your 11th house. Also, if people are triggering you, be mindful that 12th house activation is very much there for you guys. So at a psychological level, if somebody was really causing you grief, and I am seeing past energies tying out, you're going to have to be very gentle with yourself and pace yourself during this month, but you're going to get a lot of clarity. As I said, I pulled a chakra crystal for you, and you have clear quartz this month. Again, if you do want me to give you a personal reading and I can, hone in on certain areas, I can actually work with you based on that, both astrologically and psychically. Let's pull the cards. I do feel you're going to have to be pretty patient. Now, there can be some people that are testing you and you're really minding your own business and trying to move forward. It can be irritation of phone calls. It can be tying up those loose ends. It can be sarky comments. But overall, I think you guys are going to cope just fine. I think if anything, it will be it'll be very testing. Very testing to a degree of your patience. You can also have there may be a fight, but I feel it's more Mars energy, where you might just, really be speaking your mind when it comes to that. It's also extremely important, and it's funny because, Aries falling in your 10th house, like I said, things that occurred in the past may have hindered some of your hopes and dreams. Yeah. There is energies of jealousy around you, and this was another thing that was coming through psychically, and this is for the collective. You do tend to find, especially those of you who are moving into your alignment energy, it's almost like the dark see you. And so these spiritual tests will come towards you, but pay it none. Just keep moving forward. Your backbone's really there. I'm seeing you guys to be extremely successful. And I do feel a lot of excited energy around you. It can be something to celebrate during this month. But there are going to be some testing individuals where you may not be reacting in typical Cancerian style, and you might be quite sharp and, to the point with your tongue. But it may actually be necessary. Yes, because you've had a gut for. Okay, your crowning energy, which I was saying to you guys, make sure if you're having ascension symptoms, give yourself time to rest, because it is going to be a busy month. So, again, at a psychological level, the Ten of Swords is your crowning energy. And this can be a lot of psychology because the nodes being in Gemini and your growth and the frustration of trying to get things done, if anything, just as you're making leeway, when planets go retrograde, it shows you the missing pieces. So all of a sudden you could have extra responsibilities to catch up on. Not that it's terrible, it's just an inconvenience because you already were moving leaps and bounds forward spiritually, and then these things go in retrograde. Yeah, as Mark said, I've mentioned it through the process. Venus, Pluto, Jupiter, nodes shifting, moving into eclipses, Juno going direct by the end of the month. In Libra, which I've always found when that happens, when beautiful Juno moves, things be going down. So be prepared for that. Definitely with the Uranian energy, unseen energy. Be prepared for that too. Venus retrograde, always the skeletons in the closet come out. Okay, overall, there was an ending at a spiritual level. And when I see the Tower reversed, in the past position, you may have known some things needed to be tied up. This can be loose ends, old situations. Now, again, I am saying this is a very karmic ending cycle. So as much as you at a spiritual level might have closed out cycles, there can be slight residue, irritational things that can come up. This can be financial aspects. I'm more seeing just silly little things. Irritating things, but these old things that you hadn't had time to do, hopefully you've been utilizing this time lately to tie up these loose ends. I'm feeling this is very much external energy with the Tower. Now, some of it might have been at a spiritual level. You didn't quite know how to navigate through the matrix to get it done. Other aspects are very much linking with a person that was quite problematic. Let's pull a clarifier. I do feel some of you with particular individuals have been pretty direct, but again, it's like it's gone on to deaf ears. So it's been quite a frustrating situation to deal with, so to speak. Yes, okay, this can relate in with the maturity level of the individual. It could be an ex. It can also link into younger children, innocence and naivety. Potentially, it might have even been your own demeanour, but I'm feeling it's more people-orientated. Yeah, there was things that just weren't transforming, so it did keep you quite stuck. Although you have, like I said, made leeway, this avoidance of this tower moment coming in, it was like you were trying to ease it gradually, both for the individuals involved and directly for your sanity and psychology. However, know which way you applied to the situation. If anything, it delayed the inevitable. And I do feel there's some information that you were waiting on, maybe linking in with these individuals, that is going to come to light because you do have clear quartz, but you need to have clarity of mind. So do keep your fluid intake up, especially if you're getting quite fatigued and you're having ascension symptoms and you're getting yourself run down with all the adversity. With the Ten of Swords coming up as your crowning energy, the things that were irritating you in the past are coming back. But it's to be closed out. It's not to haunt you, not to affect you. It can be some information. Again, with clear quartz, I'm feeling so. Currently where you are, you're really holding on so tight. I do feel it's linking in with Aries and Chiron. It might be where you're getting into hoarder energy or protection energy, or, keeping your cards close to your chest. And I did say this year for Cancer, it's really turning over a new leaf with you guys, where you're going to be talking more. You're going to be speaking up more about what your needs are. I do feel in the past, if you really had an energy about somebody and you would endure that frequency, and because they really didn't want to hear what you were thinking, I do feel you guys are going to be more direct. And it might not trigger you the way it used to, but you will be pretty to the point and direct. There's also other people that maybe the give and take is not there, but there's a lot of process right now that more at a clarity level, you are saving for something. And I do feel this might be for a gift for somebody. So if people are looking at you like you're holding on too tight, you're not sharing, it's not reciprocal, again, this is a very temporary energy. But it is for a reason. And I do feel you have some big plans, especially with the 8th house placement. Yeah, you're getting to the point you want consistency. So you will not be giving to those that aren't giving to you, but you're definitely planning a big surprise. And these are major plans in your life. Some of them are short-term plans, but most of them are actually big-term plans. The sacrifices of moving forward, you will be willing to make a sacrifice to get what you're wanting. And this is what I'm being shown with the Hangman. This will be a temporary sacrifice. I'm definitely feeling during the time, of this Pluto transit retrograde, that that every step you're taking through this process is going to give you light at the end of the tunnel. And with the clear quartz clarity, I do feel information coming in is actually going to give you not the tunnel vision any longer, the big wide picture as to how life's going to be, where your direction is. And I feel with the 4th house, it has been quite dishwater-like, where it's neither here nor there, very much in the moment, which is actually healthy from a spiritual point of view to be in the moment. But it does feel you're really wanting to grow and excel and make plans. And you're not wanting any sloppy seconds, so to speak. You're really wanting to hone in on that energy. Some of you, I do feel, if you currently are working, it could even be a pay rise. Okay, romance. Let's see. Okay. And movement forward. Okay, there isn't, again, I'm saying an old cycle. Now, there's 2 energies coming through here. There's an energy of the past, a memory of it, and really some of these themes are going to be playing out. Now, you've got the 5 of Pentacles. I do feel there's a bit of past life energy here. It's almost like some of the situations that were taking you back almost are connected to past life karma. It's like dreams, nightmare energy, some of the triggers that come in. Sometimes it might come in your mind's eye and it'll take you back and you won't quite know why it triggers you so much so. But I do think you're really looking back at some of the ways that you lived prior as to how you are now. And again, I do feel you guys have been through the ringer. You've seen it all. What you're moving into now and what you're choosing to move into, it's like you are really turning your back, and it's almost like you and the two people, your intuition. It's feminine energies on the card, feminine child, feminine. So be it your man or woman, you're tapping into your feelings, very 12th house, and you're walking away from the old version of who you were. And I have said that this transit is really making us feel like we're having a soul walk-in. So initially, you can feel quite numb. It can feel very foreign. You want things to go back to normal, so to speak. But it never is the same because you've evolved. So even if it was at the theoretical level going to go back to normal, what is the new normal for you is really the question. And this is the new version of yourself. There also was a person potentially, again, I do feel there's a lot of karmic energies that are coming up. And I do feel this is a karmic ex, a karmic person. It could even be a co-worker or an ex. Venus retrograde, I'm telling you. Hi, Louise. Whatever you're doing, this in the past potentially, there might have been manipulations where your soft spot was triggered. All right. And so this energy, due to your childhood, this manipulative energy may have really pushed your sore spot all the time. And you may not have at a spiritual level realized this. I'm feeling with the 12th house, this is when the clair quartz, the clarity is coming through, that you're going, yeah, no, that's not going to work with me anymore. And you are moving towards 6 of Wands energy when it comes to romance. So this is the energy you're coming in with. This is the position you're currently holding, moving through May. And again, I am feeling there could be a second pull or push that this individual or individuals in general are going to trigger this to really push you into alignment so that you see where that wound was. And it's really, in the luck house, the 5th house, you're not going to let that happen. Again, because it's falling in Scorpio for you guys, you're going to see what the person's aim is. You will know, you will smell that right. Okay, how you wanting your love? Some of you might have found that due to these individuals, due to ascension, could have been a previous partnership, even where you were in general in the past. I feel deep down to a degree you were going through a lot of emotional upheaval and changes. Now, this did cause a lot of psychological warfare on you at a spiritual level. So, although this card is about ignoring circumstances, I'm really not feeling that. I'm feeling your mind was that attacked mentally and due to adversity, you weren't able to pay attention to yourself, what your hopes and dreams were, where your energy was supposed to be directed. It was almost like you were being accountable for other people to the point it would be essential needs only and therefore for self similar to such. I'm also seeing the things that you did give yourself as quite slight, and that's really changing too now. But it's this openness of really needing people to give to you, but really, and I'm seeing changes in homes. Some of you could move home, some of you could be moving away from things, but it's like the environment is also at a very spiritual level. I do feel by the end of the month, these things are going to balance out where they're going to make sense. But there might have been a lot of imbalances and really assessing the give and take in connections and what you're willing to move to in the future. But all these old energies in the past, it's not necessarily it was your fault. It was all these bombardment energies coming through. So this, and I'd say it's very new moon, trying to start new things, full moon energy. It's been so mixed matched that, again, you weren't seeing the hay for the clouds. Now, the clarity is by the time you move into June, this is where it's going to be extremely action-packed. So everything that you guys are dealing with, you're still moving forward this month. And I do feel whatever these two energies are that are going to come up for you, again, I'm feeling that the full moon in Scorpio is really going to push this up to the surface. It's going to show you the dead wood, the rotten situations, the stagnancy of even where you potentially didn't even know you were standing in your way. When this comes up, this is full-blown movement forward. This is, don't ever mess with a Cancer. I'm telling you. Once a Cancerian has made up their mind, you cannot budge them. It's tunnel vision. It's almost like a Libran energy, really. It's like I've accumulated all of this, and I'm taking it with me, and I have the information. I'm on my horse. Once they're in alignment energy, or they've directly made a direct decision, there's no moving. Okay, so this person, this energy, Cancer, you guys are going to be unstoppable. I do feel you're walking away from crap, and again, the Hermit energy is more, you know, where your safe haven is. Now, your shell, your home, the people that support you, you're going to be very, very selective. And in May, it can be cutting a lot of people out of your life that just do not belong there anymore. The end of that old cycle to move into the brand new energy of the connection of your dreams. But you guys, you're wanting to level up, and there is this, you know, some people that weren't supportive, judgmental, egotistical towards you, especially in romance. There's a lot of psychology on the table here with you guys. Okay, who is this person? Okay, this can be a person that has gone through similar things to the degree. They may have also gone through spiritual upheaval. They may be very worried about you. This is also a person that plays out on your mind. They may enter your dream states. They're very much in the Nine of Swords energy. This can be waking up at night, you know, missing, not having the full opportunity of seeing you in the full potential, you know, of your power, or potentially even them within their power. Okay. I feel instinctually you will know when to move towards this energy if you're not together. When to move on. But there is going to be something that comes up, be it you're single or coupled, that is going to need to be dealt with ASAP. And it's to move the connection forward. And it is a direct direction. It's no more ifs and buts about it. It's very much direct. Wow. Okay. You really are wanting, it feels like some sense of a shock and protection energy. And I do feel you're protecting somebody because there has been some sense of a spiritual attack on another individual. But I feel this is a romantic partner, a romantic love interest. And it can go vice versa, but I'm really feeling it's sort of like Cancer standing in defense, being sideswiped and having a spiritual connection with this individual. Whoever this person is, they have actually been through it, and it causes you great sadness to actually have to do this, but it can be very sharp words and direct due to the fact that maybe other individuals are attacking you, or, you know, especially with the inner child here. There could have been children, family-related dynamic, especially with the moon in the card, sharp words, conflict in family, potentially a child, and something that was kept, something that was hidden. Okay, overall, you are moving into the energy of Sun. But again, be cautious of your ego and your actions, and it might be linking into children. I'm picking children energy, but again, sharp communication. But you want to know what's going on. You want to dig to the bottom of this so that you can actually tie up this loose end. Any advice for Cancer? Yeah, it feels like a new story. However this is going to be by the end of the month, you might have been waiting very patiently. And I feel if you keep waiting, really, universe is going to actually force your hand. There is investment energy. I'm seeing sevens. It's almost like you might be moving into this energy of allowing someone else to make a decision when it does relate to it. It might be because you don't completely feel that this person maybe wants you, or at a separate level, you're not completely decided on it. You're not completely sold on it either. I feel this is an old scenario though. You really need to you're focusing more on what you're willing to. And I do feel the reason you haven't jumped at making a major decision or allowing nature to take its course is because this might have been the demeanor that you had due to the fact that, left out in the cold energy. Anytime you invest in something, especially the fourth house energy, really the attacks on your psychological mind at a spiritual level, it's been very taxing. So when I say this card, I don't necessarily believe it's to do with you giving your power away. I feel it's more you're not fighting scenarios any longer. So with the non-fighting of the scenarios and claircourts gaining the clarity in love, gaining the clarity on investments, money, the way the mind works, the way you work and where you want to go, what you're painting and what you're investing in by the end of the month is going to be starkly different. And I do feel it's very strict. It's very strict. Can be, for some individuals, it is going to come across quite cold, where without warning it will just be cut. But I do feel old energies coming up. Anything else Cancer needs to know for the month of May? Yeah. A lot of manipulation may be around you. You've got to, like I said, 12th house energy and the Scorpion energy. If somebody is pushing on your wounds to manipulate you, you will know. You'll definitely know. So watch the words that people use. Watch the words that trigger you, and don't allow that to happen, because this tactical response can be to take your hopes and dreams away from you. Because your outcome energy is very much this conflict that you had prior. You know where they're coming from now, and you're really moving into, with this Gemini energy, painting a pretty picture and moving into a happy energy. So it's a lot of jealous energy, but it's a lot of decoding of your own matrix of who's going to be in that picture, and you're really needing to have quality individuals with your 11th house. Your networking and your connections, when you're investing in them, they're giving back to you. It's very Venus energy. It's very contract-orientated energy. Between now and the end of May, please be very careful about, throat chakra, things to that degree, because I'm feeling the information that comes to you guys this month is really going to be beneficial for your home, your career, your love life, and your finances. And I do feel this is a pivotal point. Any questions for those of you in the house? I'm also seeing some old energies coming back, but it's going to be happening on all levels with romance. These energies don't even have to be physical people. They can be the memory, but I'm feeling for many of you, it is physical contact and communication. To do with things that need cycling out completely, really pushing that, and the path you directly are moving towards. And I feel it's almost like you're walking towards it, you're moving towards it, and it's like people grabbing at your heels, and you're trying to pay none and you're trying to proceed forward because you do know what you're wanting. Any questions in the house? I'm actually quite excited by this energy for you guys. Very excited. Any questions in the house? If you're wanting to book a reading, you can go to the link below. I'm going to have a mini break and I'm going to come back and we'll do 3 today. Yeah, 3. I'm pacing myself this month because I did all the Venus roads. Plus I'm having ascension symptoms, so I'm swimming the ocean. Should we avoid old romantic partners due to... No, not at all. Because it's meant to come back. It's part of your... Look, the nodal energy Because we're cycling things out. If you delay it, you're delaying your new start. Do you get what I'm saying? If it's meant to come back into your life, the people that are meant to come back in, you're different anyway. So the way you relate to it's going to be different. You know, Venus retrograde does not mean good things aren't coming. It actually, for many that have had a crappy time, especially in your fifth house placement of Scorpio, these hidden things, it can be hidden things being shown to you, can be in the aspect of money, inheritances and things to that degree, especially with the eighth house placement. It's a positive time as well. And if people are coming back, it's for you to decide whether you do or don't want to move forward. But if they're coming back, it's because they're in your mental ethers. So they're spiritually being attracted. Yeah. Just understand that if they do come towards you, speak your truth and be authentic. You know, a lot of times, if they pissed you off, tell them. If they hurt you, tell them. If you have to say, we need to go at snail pace. I mean, if we're that paranoid about Venus retrograde, if the person can't stick around for 8 weeks, don't jump in the deep end, you know, just pace yourself, but you'll get healing through it. And for many, there's marriages that occur during Venus retrogrades. It can go either way. And Juno also links into that as well. And it's in Libra, which is justice. It's new and old energies. They have to be dealt with because it's like healing. We sweep it under the carpet. It comes back and it haunts us. We don't want to do that. It's horrible when all those demons come out and they're coming. You're like, I should have dealt with that years ago. That's okay. It will be fine, Eddie. Just, you know, have faith in yourself and trust yourself. But it's not a bad time. You can be very reminiscent at the beginning of a Venus retrograde. But there's lots of things playing out for us at a collective level because of both Cancer and Capricorn. I can't talk too long because I've got to do the others. I have to be very organised. I've got to be very Capricorn right now, and I'm not even a Capricorn. We all have these houses in our chart, though. I've got to level up. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm going to do the water signs first, and then I'm going to roll through it. If these do get comments, shares, and they get views, like I'm testing it at the moment because, you know, I used to come to you guys at a psychic level and do the readings, but if nobody's watching them, I'll do earth, air, fire, water. We'll see how it goes. Lots of coverage on COVID-19 at the moment. Love and light. I'll be back.